welcome you to the Nantucket School Committee meeting, Tuesday, June 6, 2023. Before you have an agenda. May I have an approval?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Any comments from the public? Yes? Okay. Come on down.
Hi.
Hello. And Hadley, if you would just give your name before you speak, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hadley Dutra. I'm a mother of three, and my son James is a freshman at Nantucket High School. I'm here in advance of the work group that's happening tomorrow, which I plan to attend that meeting as well, related to what's been happening in the bathrooms, in particular at the high school and the middle school. I'm a parent of a freshman, and some of us parents of freshmen, I think, entered the school year really not having any experience with this and have since been trying to find solutions to this issue. We've been going to meetings, meeting with the administration, talking about solutions. At the end of the day, though, we presented many options. We brought Kevin Rosario in, who works at Gosnold. He spoke to every student in the middle and high school about addiction and the parent community. We got the funding for that from Friends of Nantucket Public School. We are trying now to get funding from the CRC grant, which the town has allocated $175,000 towards drug prevention within the schools. But we're at a point now, because we don't have any quotes from vaping detection companies in particular, we can't present them with an estimated budget. And that deadline is fast approaching, if not missed, to get that money. What really I want to say tonight is that I think everyone has enough education now about this issue. It's been happening in the schools since at least 2019, when the documentary came out about vaping in the bathrooms that a student did. So I think people are not in agreement necessarily about what to do. Some people, for example, don't want to use vape detectors. That's clear. And other people aren't sure, but what we do know is the normalization of drug and nicotine use in the schools is happening. And that's what's really not okay. So I would implore this group to make a decision, to move forward with an action plan, to show those students who are entering the building on a daily basis that we care enough to put forward a solution to something that's been happening every day. I think that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Hadley.
Hello, good evening. Brent Tartamella. I have a couple of freshmen, and I just wanted to say thank you for allocating the time for tomorrow's work group session. I really appreciate it, and it does demonstrate that you know that this is an issue. I guess I just wanted to really ask the committee to take into account the reality that vaping was declared a public health emergency in Massachusetts a few years ago when we started this, and I won't belabor because you've heard me beat the drum since September on this and you know how I feel, but I guess I just want to highlight that in our mission statement we talk about providing an environment which engages the kids to be inspired learners and responsible citizens, and a learning environment which really promotes that. I thought it was really interesting, and I know it's in there in some subset, but that there's no call out of the mission or vision or values when we speak about the mental and physical well-being of students. So that was pretty interesting. But I know there are hurdles, hassles, and extra work involved with we're a situation where people are overworked and under-resourced already, but our number one priority is the kids and setting them up for success. And I think if you keep the focus where it should be on the kids and the environment, like what environment sets up our students to achieve their best potential, then the answer to do we install vape detectors or not is really yes. There's a lot of hurdles, and but we have one chance to really help these kids, and education is part of it. Vape detectors alone aren't going to solve it, but it can make an immediate impact. And I just appreciate you keeping that as a focus as you do tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank you, Brent. Any other public comment? Okay, closes that. Thank you. Superintendent's report.
Sure. I'll start with enrollment. On the second page of your agenda, you will notice the enrollment chart. We know that up to 2 students from last month have arrived. We have now 1,727 students, up 2 from last month, which was 1,725. We have 3 new students that enrolled, one at NES, one at CPS, and one at the high school, and 1 withdrawal at NIS. So end of year activities. This is a long one. There's a lot going on. Only a few weeks of the exciting events that morning. At their breakfast, the seniors will be receiving a lovely book called Nantucket Impressions by Robert Gambee, who is from Nantucket. And this will be a gift to him, to the senior class. Mr. Gambee has donated 200 of his books with colorful photos and interesting narratives about the island. And I'm sure that the students will appreciate this as a keepsake from their time here. On Saturday, June 10th, will be the senior ball. We look forward to seeing our seniors decked out in their fanciest garb to celebrate and enjoy the end of their year. On Thursday, June 15th, pre-K will be ending with a celebration and promotion ceremony. Kindergarten will do the same on June 16th with a celebration and promotion ceremony as well. And on June 17th, we will celebrate 150 seniors as they graduate from the Nantucket Public Schools at 11 a.m. on the Vito Capizzo football stadium. There will be a graduation car parade following the ceremony at 1 p.m., following and going around town. And on June 17th at 4 p.m., there will also be a special free concert given by the Boston Civic Symphony in partnership with the Nantucket Public Schools String Program and the Nantucket Community Music Center, featuring the orchestra, this Boston orchestra, the NIS string students, Francisco Noya as music director of the Boston Civic Symphony, and Dr. Eddie Wilkin as guest conductor. And you might see me as a guest musician in the back of the viola section. So, finally, that is here at the auditorium at 4 p.m. Finally, our last day of school for NES, NIS, and CPS will be Friday, June 23rd as a half day with promotion ceremonies for our 2nd, 5th, and 8th graders on those days. And NHS will have their last day on June 26th as a half day due to an additional day missed during the school year. So those are the end of year. I believe also there is a choral concert, a town-wide or school with all of the schools joint choral concert, which will happen, I believe, this coming Wednesday. Not tomorrow, but the next week. It is tomorrow. Thank you very much. I didn't have the date here. Moving on to recruitment and hiring. Currently, we have approximately 19 teacher positions open across the district and 2 administrator positions still to fill, one being the Director of Facilities and Grounds, and the other being Curriculum Director for Humanities. Everyone is in the process of interviewing candidates, so I'm sure that we will see some new recommendations for hire coming through our HR department in the next few days and weeks. We did have a second interview with the curriculum director position with a promising candidate from Aspen, Colorado. She came to visit the island with her husband last week, and we expect to connect about this position sometime tomorrow or Thursday. So fingers crossed, everybody. I am thrilled to announce that we have a new EL director next year. Barbara Cohen has accepted the position. She hails from Worcester Public Schools and previously from Ashburnham, Winchester. The interview committee was very pleased with her knowledge and expertise, and she is truly excited to join our team. So we're very happy to have Barbara with us. Finally, we will be taking a hard look at our teacher assistant needs for next year, as these positions are becoming more and more challenging for us to fill. Deb Gately and school administrators will work next week to address how to schedule TA support at each school a little bit more effectively, as we expect that all of the current positions that we have may not be filled. It is a very challenging position to fill based on several items, several issues around time, around salary, and so things that we have to really pay attention to as we move into the next contract as well. And I wanted to give a shout out to the choral music department. As you've heard a lot about our instrumental music program in the most recent months, I did want to take a moment to recognize some of our choral music program accomplishments. High school choral director Erin McKeever led her high school choir in the annual Choral Masterworks concert that was held at the Congregational Church last week. This year the piece was the Bluegrass Mass and featured our own Natalie Mack. She was a soloist among several other talented singers. We also had the NES Unified Arts Night with choral performances by our second graders led by their teacher Allison Ritter. And finally, the middle school put on a great performance of Bugsy Malone Jr. this past weekend. I went. It was a lot of fun, very creative, tons of fun, really excellent in featuring great acting, singing, and dancing by the talented CPS students. And a shout out to Lane Cutts for her direction. And that's all I have for now. Oh, yes, absolutely. And my apologies, but I need to welcome Chantal Blois-Murphy, our new school committee member. So we are so glad to have you. Thank you very, very much for being here. We're very happy.
Super. Thank you, Beth. Any
Sure.
questions for Dr. Hallett? Chantal? No? Questions, Tim? No? Okay. All right, moving on to presentations and discussions of interest. I'd like to invite Diane O'Neill up to the podium, please, who's our Director of Facilities for now.
As I normally do, I'm just going to go through by school and give you a few highlights. I'm going to apologize ahead of time. Because of the cyber attack, I don't have records. So I dug as best I could through accounts and capital accounts and tried to figure out what we've done since last May, but I lost a lot of files. So elementary school, we replaced the siding and part of the roof above the roof line. So we had a lot of leaks. We seem to have stopped them, and it was a really good project. It was bid out and actually won by a local contractor, and I think that they did a really, really great job. Last summer, NES, we had Energy Source, which is part of a National Grid program. They came in and replaced the interior lighting in the hallways and in the common areas with LEDs, and that's been a great project. People seem to like it. It's much brighter in there. It's just a good project. Over April break, we had the NES gym curtain replaced. I think that's a good thing. And just some ancillary things. We had 4 classroom floors replaced last summer with the rubber tile, take up the carpets, put down the rubber tile, and we're going to have 5 done this summer. I just bid it out and wrote the contract. So that's a good project. NIS, I don't really have a lot, more HVAC than anything. HVAC's really tough over there. I don't know why. The system is just very different, and the chiller, of course, it stopped in the middle of the summer, and that was really awful because we had community school running programs in the gym, and it is what it is. That's what happens. The middle school, we did some room painting on our own in-house. We had the boiler rewired so that if there's a power outage in the building, now the generator picks up the boiler in the middle school, and we will never have that problem again where we had frozen pipes last year. I think that was really short money for the return is really huge. Again, CPS, we had some HVAC repairs. Over the April break, we had some more padding added to the middle school gym, and I'm actually looking at some more above the bleachers. It seems to take a beating during baseball practice when they practice indoors, so we're trying to eliminate that. And I did forget last summer, and it just dawned on me as I was going through this list, we did a whole bunch of roof replacements. CPS, one whole academic wing. We did the cafeteria roof, and then over on the high school side, we had the culinary roof done and some other small areas. But that was a big project, about $75,000 for that. In the high school, oh, there it is. Wrong place. In the high school, we had the fire pump controls rebuilt. That was a tough project for us to get them here, to get it done, to get all the players in place. Exterior door replacements. We're starting to replace a lot of the exterior doors. They're beyond repair. We have 3 more coming up this summer, but we did 2 over February break. I thought that was a really good project. The pool pump was replaced. Auditorium, we have new stage curtains on order, a lot of HVAC. And the plumbing issues, the plumbing issues, the dollar amount that I put into the high school column is actually shared with the middle school. So because our budget numbers are 1 for the high school and middle school, that sort of gets dumped into one pot, and there's really no way to separate it. And then bathroom vandalism is ongoing, and it's more our staff repairing and replacing than calling plumbers and the sewer department anymore. So I just wanted to point that out. It's still there. Central office, grounds, and athletics. I think you will probably know we opened the tennis courts last week. We have 5 brand new tennis courts. And the baseball field has been open probably for 3 weeks now, maybe 4, I think 3 weeks. It looks phenomenal over there. They did a great job. I love that people are using it, and it was a good project. The grounds building, we replaced the roof. The wind turbine, we did a ton of repairs last year. It is aging, so that might be something to look at in the future. And the security system, campus-wide, I put into one line here. We've spent over $117,000. It's door repairs, camera repairs, things break. It just has to be done, so we just continue on, and we have a great vendor that comes and does it. Future projects, we had 24 Surfside Roadhouse. I know that you know that we acquired that house last year, and we had a preliminary design done to renovate it. It will be offices and 1 apartment on the 2nd floor for housing. So working with the architect right now to get a final design, and that'll be exciting to get out to bid, and hopefully before I leave, get it started. Campus-wide master plan site planning, we signed a new contract with the architects to re-look at the site planning and where buildings should go and where housing should go and all of the things that we work on consistently with our campus. And then the space needs study for the high school, middle school, we have a contract, and I know SMRT came and presented to you on that. They're starting to work on high school, middle school space needs, and they'll talk to principals and evaluate all of that. I don't know what page you have next, but mine is the wind turbine. And as you know, I always do a breakdown of the wind turbine and how much it makes and how much we don't have to spend in electricity and how much it costs us to maintain it. But it's very good, but like I said, it is aging, and I find more and more calling the contractor to come and do various repairs. I didn't really see anything jump out at me. I'm constantly, I think you all know I'm kind of a nerd about fuel, so I'm constantly monitoring fuel prices and electricity prices, and I don't really see anything that's much different than what we projected, unless anyone has any questions about fuel and electricity and water and sewer. It's pretty normal. And that's all I have.
Great. Thank you, Diane.
You're welcome.
Tim, questions, comments?
When you say the turbine is getting tired, what do you project ahead?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I know when they retire them, it's not pretty. If you read about that, they sort of take the blades and bury them in Utah somewhere. I don't think that's pretty. It's been online since 2013. Actually 2012. I think it was October. I just know I'm spending more and more time and money getting it back up, getting it running. It falls off the internet a lot. Demo and I sort of going back and forth. He reboots the server. We have to give readings every month to the gentleman. His name is George Aronson, and he actually sells the renewable energy credits for us. That money, I think you know, goes to the town for the RECs, for the renewable energy credits. But the actual money we save behind the meter goes to us. So in FY23, we've saved 162,000 kilowatt hours, and the money we've saved is 24,636.18. That's to date. So we still have 2 months left in this fiscal year, so that will increase. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it gets replaced or if they can come and repair some things or replace just some larger parts. But I know that, like I said, every year I'm calling more and more and having a hard time getting it back up and fixed. And they come out of, I think it's Iowa, and they get in the truck and they drive here, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, they do. So,
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Through the chair, of course. Because the turbine has been there since way before me. Has there ever been an assessment on it to see particularly what its lifespan is going to be and how long, just so that we can plan ahead?
no, but we do have a contract with with a company that maintains it and monitors it. And if I have problems, I call, and I don't have to leave a message. They answer the phone. They're a very good company. Like I said, when we had that power surge that hit Sparks Avenue and it blew up the transformer and it blew up a whole bunch of parts inside the turbine, they actually loaded their pickup and came here, and they were here in 3 days. I think that's really responsive, but I don't have what their lifespan is. I don't know. I wasn't here when it went in with the schools. I was with the town. I don't know. And I can't find much information. I have looked. I suppose I could ask them.
If I just can continue, I'm wondering. Just this is again something we can explore. If there is a question of replacing parts of the turbine to allow it to continue its life for a little longer, whether the blades need to be changed or the contraption at the top or what have you, rather than the entire thing or to have to dismantle.
I honestly don't think it'd be the tower.
Yeah,
I think it would be the
the
head pieces.
Interesting to see if there is a replacement actually that would work with the existing equipment that we have within the tower. And
I can ask tomorrow and
just be
email all of you
curious. Yeah.
what the expected lifespan would be. That's easy.
Thanks.
Thank you. Esmeralda?
No questions.
Thank you.
Chantal?
Beth answered my questions that I was
All
going
right.
to ask them when I was scribbling.
Okay.
What's that?
Not for me. Thank you, Diane. So moving on to the superintendent's evaluation. Thus far, it's been an annual evaluation for our superintendent, and we did complete this with the last seated committee. So Rocky Fox was part of the evaluation. And typically, we read out the evaluation for the minutes, and so please bear with me while I just read out the evaluation on Dr. Elizabeth Hallett. So step one was progress towards goals, and the goals included professional practice goals, student learning goal, and district improvement goals. And Dr. Hallett received significant progress in all four of the goals. The performance on Standard 1 was under instructional leadership, which was proficient. Standard 2, management and operations, proficient. Standard 3, family and community engagement, proficient. And professional culture, proficient. Under the evaluator comments, Dr. Hallett has earned significant progress in regards to goals 1 through 4 and is proficient in standards 1 through 4, sorry. This is evaluated and determined through the indicator rubric for superintendents. For professional practice, efforts have begun in order to build a foundation to sustain a culture of belonging, equity, and inclusion for all within our district. Evidence is such. The annual full gathering at Nantucket Public Schools. Supporting NES contract with Janine Fitzgerald, a seasoned educator for a year-long program to assist in building a collaborative and positive school culture. Janine has also, through the community school, been available to parents, which has been an added bonus to our district. The continuation of responsive classroom at NES and NIS. CPS, the formation of the CPS Culture and Climate Committee to work together on building relationships. At Nantucket High School, reviving the Culture Committee to improve the culture within the adults through professional learning committees and also including multiple staff gatherings and meetings. Throughout the year, Dr. Hallett has focused on student learning and achievement as our district continues to stay below the state average in ELA and math, and this is a priority. Dr. Hallett is leading the district, supporting and ensuring that the data from MCAS, Access, MAP, and DESA, and TRAILS that are based on formative and summative assessments will be used to support inclusive learning for all. And together with our educators, we'll formulate a structure that will teach all children in all grades, in all subjects, to show growth and demonstrate a level of comprehension and growth at all levels. For district improvement, Dr. Hallett has made great strides in reaching the school and local community. With COVID now to the side, Dr. Hallett has made full use of being able to meet and visit each school regularly. Dr. Hallett visits classrooms, shadows principals, established a student superintendent advisory committee that meets several times per year and sits on various community boards. Dr. Hallett is very visible to the community. Dr. Hallett attends numerous after-school programs and sports events, music events, plays, and open houses at all schools. The school committee receives an update from the superintendent of the past week and the upcoming week, including the superintendent's school meetings for the week. Dr. Hallett is focused on re-establishing high-quality coaching and feedback for all educators. Areas of concentration have been and will continue to include best practices around culturally responsive and inclusive, equitable teaching practices for enhanced learning opportunities. Moving on to the performance goals, professional practice goal includes focus indicators, and under here throughout the 2023 school year, Dr. Hallett's goal was I will begin to build a strong foundation for myself and for the district leadership team for the critically important work of creating and sustaining a culture of belonging, equity, and inclusion for all individuals within our district. Dr. Hallett received significant progress. The second goal, which is through the student learning, which I had mentioned before, her goal was throughout the 22-23 school year will lead the district successfully towards a focus on student learning and achievement with strong supports for inclusive learning for all. It's mentioned with the evidence that I've just mentioned, is where we drew our evaluation from. Nantucket school students will show typical to ambitious growth in ELA, literacy, math, and science in all grades, with particular attention to EL, former EL, Hispanic, Latino, Black, African American, and students with disabilities subgroups. And part of the goal also will demonstrate expected or improved social emotional growth at all grade levels. This too is significant progress. Goal 3 under district improvement. By May 2023, I will have strengthened communication and collaboration between myself and staff, students, families, and community members in order to share important information, seek feedback, and listen to a variety of diverse voices from the school community and community at large. Dr. Hallett received significant progress. And finally, Goal 4, throughout the 22-23 school year, I will work to re-establish the importance of high-quality feedback and coaching in the educator evaluation improvement cycle for all educators. This will include best practices around culturally responsive and inclusive, equitable teaching practices and learning opportunities. Dr. Hallett received significant progress. As we go down to the standard ratings under instructional leadership for curriculum, Dr. Hallett received proficient. Under instruction, Dr. Hallett received proficient. And the third instructional standard that we were evaluating her on was under evaluation, and Dr. Hallett also received proficient. The overall standard for this instructional leadership standard is proficient. The comments from the school committee: strict attention to the high-quality curriculum is a priority for Dr. Hallett, and she continues to evaluate and make changes across the district with her principals, curriculum directors, and teachers to ensure that our high-achieving students to the neediest student population are all receiving culturally responsive and equitable education that meets the needs of each student. Much of this is achieved with professional development and opportunities for staff to travel to national conferences, as well as focus on hiring highly qualified educators to come to Nantucket to work with our staff. We anticipate improvements with the new math curriculum. Standard 2 is under management and operations. Dr. Hallett was evaluated under environment and human resource management and development, where she received proficient in both areas. Overall rating was proficient. Comment: there have been numerous challenges this year. However, overall, putting aside for now the extreme staff shortages due to the lack of housing, the vandalism that the high school continues to experience, and the ransomware attack on our district across the board, our admin, central office, facilities department, tech department, athletic department, and community school have continued with a high level of professionalism and excellence in spite of the many challenges that face our district. Dr. Hallett hired an HR position which has already helped the district greatly. We anticipate this position in helping the district with recruiting, hiring, induction, retaining high qualified applicants. She has been active in the development of effective plan and procedures and routines to address not only emotional and social needs, but the full range of safety and building use. Standard 3 is under family and community, and the areas that we evaluated was under engagement and communication, of which Dr. Hallett received proficient in both areas. The overall standard was proficient. Comments for that is Dr. Hallett engages with students, teachers, admin, parents, and our community. She's highly visible through the island. She has reestablished the student advisory. The time spent in negotiations has been an issue with her ability to attend all meetings she could, and in the absence of an EL director, of which she has assumed the role for the past 8 months. We are seeing a higher number of multilingual families engaging in school activities. We believe having a superintendent that engages with bilingual parents and families is an added bonus to creating a safe and welcoming environment. Standard 4 was professional culture, and we looked at areas of commitment to high standards and cultural proficiency, of which Dr. Hallett received proficient. Comments on this was for Dr. Hallett is a proponent of professional development, and that is shown in her own practice. Dr. Hallett supports and encourages growth in this area for all staff. As stated before, Dr. Hallett is a keen observer and leader, ensuring that equitable treatment and opportunities for multilingual and multicultural students are not only considered, but front and center of all decisions. Through Dr. Hallett's professional learning, through the Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents in Racial Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, has only deepened Dr. Hallett's commitment to supporting all students. The district is fortunate to have a leader like Dr. Hallett in our district. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to get together and have this evaluation, and I think when you look back on everything for the last year, it is quite admirable, everything that has been achieved, and I hope that you do have time that you actually sleep. Because
Thank you.
Any comments on the evaluation or additions? No. Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to committee discussions and votes to be taken. I'd like a vote, please, to approve the superintendent's evaluation.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. May I have a motion to approve the donation of 200 copies of the Nantucket Impressions by Robert Gambee to each student in graduating year 2023?
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Vote to approve the NIS Grade 5 overnight trip to Camp Bournedale in June 12th to the 14th.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Vote to approve the donation from Heidi Mayo to the Nantucket High School Culinary Gift Account in the amount of $100.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Vote to approve the donation from Cape Cod Five to Nantucket High School Credit for Life Gift Account in the amount of $1,000.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Vote approval, please, for the Community Foundation for
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Vote to approve the donation from Box Tops to Nantucket Intermediate School in the amount of $27.70.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Vote to approve the grant from Nantucket Land Council to NIS Grade 5 for Camp Bournedale field trip in the amount of $2,500.
Move approval.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye. Vote to approve the grant from Nantucket Education Trust to NIS for the Grade 5 camp trip to Camp Bournedale in the amount of $5,000.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Vote to approve the minutes of April 25th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote to approve May 2nd, 2023 meeting minutes.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote to approve May 16th, 2023 workshop meeting minutes.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Vote to approve May 24th workshop organizational meeting minutes.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And lastly, the transfers and invoices.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, going on to subcommittee work. Any groups have been meeting?
I would be happy to share for those who are not present. The negotiations group continues to negotiate, and we have a scholarship meeting coming up
Yes,
tomorrow.
We do.
Which is wonderful. It's one of the best meetings that we get to do.
Yes, that's
To
true.
choose how to distribute funds and scholarships to graduating seniors and sometimes to those who have already graduated, so which is nice.
It is a great meeting. Any other? I was part of food insecurity group that met, and I know that Tracy Roberts would like to gather the school group together
Sure.
just so that we can meet before the summer. So we'll be getting an email on that. And speaking about scholarships, I just came from the Community Foundation where they gave out their awards this year, and they gave out over $80,000 in scholarships. So that was really wonderful to see our students there. Okay, so at this point we'll go through the agenda. We have a workshop that's coming up tomorrow night, and that's at the NIS cafeteria at 6 p.m. The workshop is going to be on a discussion of the vape crisis that we are in and the discussion of vape detectors. At this point, does anybody have any questions or comments before we go into the workshop tomorrow, or anything that you want to make sure, information that we have? No? Okay, Tim? Okay.
If I may, through the
Yes,
chair,
please.
so I just wanted to address that we will be providing a quote to address the public comment that came out. So we will share what we have learned from a company around how much vape detectors will cost, so we can share that tomorrow as part of our meeting. I also wanted to share that I did receive notes from Natalie Mack, who is
Oh, yeah.
not available tonight. She will come to say goodbye on June 20th,
Good.
even though she will have already graduated, but she wanted to come back and say hi, goodbye. But she wanted to share that this is the last week for seniors, so that's very much on her mind. There is a joint chorus concert this Wednesday at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. The senior ball is Saturday at the Yacht Club. And she wanted to say, I'm sorry that I cannot be here tonight, but I wanted you to know how grateful I am for this experience. I knew how much the staff and administrators did for NPS, but now I have a new understanding and appreciation after being on this committee. Everyone does so much for all of the students, and I'm so grateful to have gone through the school system since kindergarten.
Oh,
It was very
that's
kind.
lovely.
Yeah. So, that's all.
I feel like every year our children grow up and they go off. Okay, any other comments before we adjourn? No? All right, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.